Daniele, how did you manage to participate to a fair in Shanghai? Could you explain, and what was the result of your participation?
Okay, so this is my first, and maybe, I mean, definitely only physical fair in 2020. I was, I mean, I always like the fair. I think like Art 21 is one of our best fairs every year. The reason why it works, and I mean, the way we made it happen. I have to say, I really have to thank the organizations, actually, the organizers of
Well,
the fair.
don't be too polite. We need to rush.
Oh no, no, no. Honestly, I they were very efficient, with everything. They
So, how
answered.
did you manage to be able to show real
Well,
art
I
there
just the work.
and to a foreigner?
I sent 8 paintings by Julie Beaufils, who is a French painter. We decided to do a solo show, which much easier. But we also decided to slightly change the booth by changing the color of the walls, and we exhibited a group of paintings that they were supposed to be part of a larger project in Paris. But because of all the things happening, we decided to exhibit it there, and it was really easy. Like we shipped the work.
But you
We
had a
found the
representative there.
well, we had an agent that we found through our really good friend Simon Wong from Antenna Space, a very young person that was very dynamic. He's very dynamic, and he managed to actually sell the booth in the first 25 minutes of the fair. And
And
so
so,
they,
who bought the things, and what are the prices for
the
Julie
prices
Beaufils?
were between 5,000 euros and 13,000 euros. We also sold things that were not physically in the booth, but they were in the iPad in our storage in Paris, and museums actually, like the Woods Museum bought a few works from the booth, and we're very happy. And tomorrow we are waiting for the confirmation of 2 more works that are going to another museum in China, of course, and we're waiting to hear back. But it was amazing. I mean, it was like really great people, institutional
And why
collections.
did they buy Julie Beaufils? Did they know her work?
Not at all. That's also the interesting part is that, I mean, beside the situation this year, Art 21 has always been a great fair because we were able to meet new people and introduce a new artist to this market, and they're not like necessarily familiar with it. So it was like a new introduction to the market there. I must say that they're very open-minded and very curious about everything. So usually, this sort of like introduction of new artists is a very easy, thing to do.
And so,
Um,
what kind of work does Julie Beaufils?
there were a group of paintings that were inspired by tarot, the cards, which was a perfect subject for the times we are living. It's something that she started doing the first confinement in Paris. And as you know, tarots, they're supposed to help us read,
The future.
the future, and sometimes, the established order is kind of changed by events, sudden events, like what we're living right now. And I think she was interested in the subject and what the symbology of tarots, mean when you're in a situation like, the pandemic right now. And I think she was very inspired by this sort of, power of tarots to help us read the future.
And how old is Julie Beaufils?
She's 34 now. Yes.
And does she have some museum exhibition project or thing like that?
No, for now, no. The last exhibition was at the gallery in Paris right after the confinement. But she's currently a resident of Luma Foundation in Arles, and she's working on site-specific work there. And she's planning probably to move elsewhere this year. I mean, she's always been in between France and like LA and Brazil, so she's very like a big element of her work is that her,
And
is
what do you think?
about the word, yeah.
What do you think attracted people in China about the work of Julie Beaufils?
Well, unfortunately, I cannot answer the question because I wasn't there. So it's really the regret I have about the situation is that I couldn't really interact with the people there. But it was a great test because ultimately, I think a good fair is probably about the art you show and not the person who's selling it. And I really was. Intrigued by this situation, and I wanted to see if it worked out,
And what did the agent say about the ambience at the fair?
I was super busy. He sent me pictures of the booth. It was always like super crowded, and people kept asking until the last day. There's still appointments tomorrow happening between him and potential clients, so it's far from being over. And he said it was like a soul, and it was like a very minimal, elegant installation. The paintings are rather small actually, and it wasn't like how can I say, a flashy booth. I
How
didn't
many
have
paintings?
eight paintings. I didn't have incredible expectations, but the feedback was amazing. I mean, selling a booth in 25 minutes, it's sort of like, to a public, it doesn't really know the work, it's kind of, I mean, for me, it's a great achievement.
But
and I'm there.
But you are not unknown in China because for years you are working with Chinese collectors, right?
Yeah, we actually also won the prize for the best booth last year. So it's true that we had a sort of visibility, at the fair. But I mean, still, the interesting thing that this year we sold to completely new clients, like none of the clients that they bought from me last year, but so it's like it shows you the great potential, you have.
So what is the potential in China now with collectors? What's going on?
It's a how can I say? There are a lot of elements that are interesting about the market in China. First of all, of course, is the capital. They have a lot of there's a lot of potential financially speaking, but they're also incredibly curious. I would like to say that because I think money doesn't make a good collector. I think being curious is more important than having lots of money to buy art. And they have that. I mean, I realized over the last years by going there that they have this really incredible curiosity for art. They're like thirsty, I would say, and it's beautiful to work there because it's not only about, of course, the financial transactions. It's more about the intellectual exchange, and that's priceless in a way. And that's what is interesting about the Chinese market for me now. It's this amount of
Curiosity.
Curiosity, almost like they're like hungry for art. It's beautiful, and it's really part of like a the construction of an identity in an international art market, and that's great. I'm really
Okay.
good. Yeah.
Merci, monsieur.
De rien.